So this is the .65 from mechanicalkeyboards.com. It's their first custom. It's their first foray into this. It has a price point of just about $200, and it comes in, was it 5 colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it comes in burgundy, black, e-white, pink, and baby blue. The baby blue is actually very nice. They do have a listed effective key height. So that's the effective front height. It's about 22.4, which sounds about normal. We'll actually measure the front height without the keys, just because I like having both of those stats for you guys. It's a 6-degree typing angle, and it's going to be using a 6063 aluminum case. It is a top mount and a rubber gasket mount. We'll see if both mounts sound good. It does have a clear-coated brass weight. It has a Molex connector. Molex, again, not the biggest fan of Molex, but it's forgivable, and at the end of the day, like if you're just careful with your stuff, it's fine. Press-in feet, which is awesome. They're not adhesive. I like that. And then it's also via and vial compatible. It has an indicator LED, a cherry lip, which sounds nice, and then some different included gaskets, which I'm already looking at here. Looks cool. We got some included foam and PE sheets. I always like when vendors include this in their packages, which oddly enough, I've noticed less and less people are including things like this, which is kind of a shame because I actually like having this. I don't use them personally, but like they sent over a PC plate, which I think I want to use the aluminum plate today with my switch choices, which are cherry switches. But it's cool. I mean, they got an aluminum, or they got a PC plate here too. Let me zoom out a bit. We got our PCB. Little hot swap action going on here. Let's see if their hot swap PCB is good. It has options. Not a crap ton of options, but enough options that would, I think, make the everyday user happy, like myself. I can now pick between 7U. Also, love the silk screening on this, by the way. Love, love, love the silk screening on this. 6.25U, 7U, split, stepped. And then we even have labels, which, again, really nice touch here. You can tell they know their audience. It's literally labeled with everything. That is nice. 1.6mm PCB, pretty standard fare. Nice silk screen on it, plain and simple. A little bit of options, which is great. Would have loved to see maybe 1 or 2 more options, but I'm not going to complain about this today. Pretty good. By the way, today's stream isn't going to be sponsored. They're sending us the board today, and we're taking a look at it. That's not going to change what I think, obviously. We have our press-in feet. We have some screws. These remind me of the Novel Keys gaskets, sort of, with the kind of stretchy bit on top. And I like the fact that there's some colors to these. I'm surprised they didn't go with a polycarbonate option for this board. That would have been really cool for this. Also comes with a screwdriver. That's nice. Nice little touch. Is this an older rendition of the PCB? Because I only see this has one option on it. That's the standard. So what is this one here? Oh, they're calling it a multi-layout PCB. Okay, so they did send over the multi-layout. So if you do want a multi-layout PCB, oh, this one has RGB. Okay, so there's 2 different ones. I'm understanding now. That's my mistake. There's 2 different PCBs. There's a multi-layout one, which seems to be sold through, which is a bit smudge. And there's a standard RGB one, which has a very fixed layout, which is fair. That's fine. At least they're giving you the options. It's currently B-stock because of a visual error with the ground traces, but it works just fine. Oh, okay. So if you do want the multi-layout, you'd have to spend an additional $10, bringing up the board to about $210. Okay, and then the only one that's more expensive is the E-White because it's an electro-coated one. All right, so $210 for the multi-layout, $200 for the RGB. Honestly, $10 isn't bad for a PCB. To get it's like an extra PCB you're getting. So $10 for an extra PCB, that's pretty damn good. I don't know who else is selling $10 PCBs. We have our aluminum, which is the one I actually want to use today. So I'll put this in like a little pile. And there you go. They did give everyone an extra cable for the Molex. Now again, I just want to bring this up, okay? This has nothing to do with mechanical keyboards or anyone who decides to use this. I just think there's fair criticism. If you insert these carefully, there's probably no problem with them. I know they're rated for like 10 to 20 uses or whatever. You know, people have told me they've used it triple that. I have used it a bunch of times too, and I can't get it to fail. But what's happened many times, it is not actually the cable or the connection that's failing. And we had a lot of people mention this last stream too. It's, believe it or not, the plastic. The plastic is very brittle. It's kind of delicate. The sidewalls of this where it kind of clamps in. So you end up kind of either having to tape this in or it just doesn't clip in and you won't get the secured connection. So that's where I found these to be a little bit a nuisance. Again, not a bad thing. This is also a universal daughter board. So again, very nice to see that. They sell these. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's just fair warning for anyone who's maybe getting these. Probably just be a bit more careful using them. That's all. I still would prefer more vendors or designers to build with JST connectors. There's very rare use cases for that. Like when you're having a very low front height and you need the space for it and whatnot, but god damn, they loaded me up with feet, dude. Oh, the board has some heft to it. All right, mechanical keyboards. Oh, the cherry lip is subtle, but it's nice on this. The ano is really nice on this too. God damn. That's actually really nice ano. The sidewalls, you know, I think these are actually a good width for the sidewalls over here. And then you have that chunky forehead. And it does have a little bit of a cherry lip. Just a smidge. It's not overly aggressive. I actually would have liked to see it be a bit more aggressive personally. And then it has a bit of a curve going on here on the side to kind of give it it kind of does give it a more elegant side profile. I want to be very honest. I went into this board, not with high expectations. I went in, truthfully, with in the middle kind of expectations. Not because I don't have faith in what they do, just because I didn't know what to expect from their first foray into something more custom. I didn't know whether it was going to be more of like of an attempt to just kind of build something that was meant for kind of someone newer. But I'm kind of getting the vibe that this is kind of an all-arounder, which is nice. I do like these corners. These rounded corners are kind of pretty. And then you got the back over here with the .65. Very subtle. I like it. It does kind of, again, repeat over here, but actually even the weight design it's simple. It looks easy to manufacture, which is nice. Probably kept that cost down, but nice little bottom. Very simple. I like that. This would be fun to patina if anyone wants to do something more custom. MK for sure had help with designers in the hobby, yeah. And then I want to measure the front height with the cherry lip because they only give us the effective front height on the website. 17 or 18, not bad. This almost slipped by me. I probably would have noticed this afterwards. All right, this is a fun little feature here too. The only good thing that came out of the GMK Pro was the cable management on the bottom. This kind of has that same idea. It's doing the same thing as the cable management on the GMK Pro. So basically it would wrap around here and then kind of just pressure fit into this. So good on them. I'm hoping this works well. I will measure this whole board. Let me put the feet on and then we'll weigh it. These weights, these feet are actually a little tough to stick in here. 1.3-ish kilos, 1.29 kilos, and then pound-wise, 2.13. So I would say the weight is, I mean, it's definitely doing something. I can feel some heft, which is good. I really like this. I think this case is sharp looking. It's simple. The only two wishes I had, which it wasn't screw, but whatever. I do wish that the cherry lip was just a smidge more aggressive. But it is there. It does help lower that effective, well, the front height a little bit. So it is nice. If I review the website one more time, maybe there should be a bit more of like a notification between the PCBs like almost immediately. The RGB one doesn't have 7U, nor does it have any options. This has options. Ultimately, it depends on what you want to go for. I would probably spend the extra $10 and get the extra PCB. This maroon color is beautiful. This is a really nice burgundy. Even the matching plate on this looks really good. All right, now for gaskets, let's just start off in the middle here. I feel like this is probably gonna be my choice. Can be installed either way. One is slightly stiffer than the other. Which one's the less stiff? Gaskets are fairly simple to install. I think this actually could have been made a little bit shorter, like in between, and then kind of just pulled into place and kind of sat nicer to get a cleaner look as you're installing them. Personal preference, I'm just kind of giving pointers in what I would have done here. Them hanging out like loose socks kind of bothers me. Yeah, from a visual perspective, it does bother me too. I wonder if this will cause any sort of bunching. I don't think it will. I think visually though, I'm gonna leave them like this. Yeah, these would have been really cool with a polycarbonate case or something. See all these. Again, some good pointers here. No mounting points underneath the spacebar. Yeah, the mounting system looks solid. Again, I don't know if I want to try top mount or if I don't even know if I'd want to do top mount with the aluminum plate. All right, let's install this guy. Let's put this in first, or else we won't be able to do this later. Everything but the universal daughter board is the same screw. Yeah, which I can appreciate, by the way. Would have been that extra level of cool if everything was the same thing. You know what I mean? If literally everything was the same. I do like how there's little grooves over here to kind of seat this in and help align things. Really appreciate that. All right, let's screw these guys in. These should really be magnetic, by the way. That helps with the process of screwless so damn much. Now, I guess they are a little bit. They're not really, they're kind of hanging on for dear life. Maybe they need to be all remagnetized. The shape of the board looks good. I like the side bezels. They look good. The side bezels are a nice thickness. They're not overly thick. They kind of have that slim appearance. The small cherry lip is nice. I would have preferred it to be a smidge more aggressive, but I like it. I just really like when keyboards have thick foreheads. I don't know what it is. I think it really makes the keyboard look chunky and I love it. I do like the side profile on this. It's nothing super complicated. It does have a visible seam on the side in case you guys don't like that look. I don't mind it personally. I do like the way this curves on the bottom. It makes the light play on the side look nice. Gives it some elegance to the side profile. Same thing here on the back. Very elegant looking in how it tapers in. And then I do like the weight. It's a simple bottom, but I think they did it in such a manner where it looks good. Like it's not ugly to look at. Also, thank you everyone for being here today. Appreciate you guys. So this is the aluminum plate with the medium gaskets. There is some, actually we can say resonance. A little bit of a metallic coming back at you here. Again, not really the through weight. It's more of a bottom only weight. Spacebar is a little bit flat on this. Again, maybe we can try some different things to make it sound a bit different here. Spacebar is a little flat for me, I will admit. Alphas are not terrible though. I don't mind the alphas on this. What I do want to do though is change up some of the gaskets and see if that changes anything here. So let's do that right now too, because I'm going to be honest. Alphas are good. I'm not a huge fan of this. However, let's see if we just change the switch first. Yeah, we're going to try the top mount after I change some of the gaskets as well. Which is interesting, because in theory, there actually shouldn't be anything wrong with this spacebar. It should sound good in theory. Let's open it up and find out. A long pole spacebar. It just sounds abnormally flat, which I'd like to kind of explore and see why that is. So this is, again, an illustration of what I mean with I don't love when boards do a hidden screw design. It's not the end of the world. I know I'm just kind of being a little bit lazy. But, you know, sometimes it is kind of awkward to figure out where everything is. I personally didn't feel this need to be force brake, but your mileage may vary. I'm feeling it does, but you know what? Hold on. Before we do that, let's do one thing. Let's take off these and use these ones. These should be the softest ones, and I do want to try these. But I think overall, the keyboard itself felt a little bit flat sounding. So I'm going to try a few different variations of ways to combine things here, because maybe that's the answer. The softest gasket on Alu is my favorite, the pink gaskets. Do you have them facing up or down on yours? All right, so we're gonna screw this back together. I'm not gonna do any force brakes right now. Let's just try flipping the gaskets the other way, as well as trying the softer gasket, because the spacebar is a little flat for me, for my personal preference here. Let's just try putting it together first before we go too crazy with this. I can already tell that I really like the alphas more like this. It sounds like there's a mounting point on top. Yeah, it just feels like there's some reverberation or some bad sort of vibration kind of feeding itself towards this way. All right, this is already sounding a lot better. I think flipping the gaskets with the stretchy part down is already making the alphas a lot better. We may want to switch our space bars. Let me try an Obscura switch as well. But I do want to open this up and see if we can get this to sound a little bit better with just this and not having to worry about swapping out a switch. No, there's still some shakiness here. Let me just quickly retune the stab just to make sure. I don't think it's the stab though. All right, let's open this back up. Alphas do sound a lot better on this though. They sound a lot better with the gasket facing down. Now the last thing I'm gonna try is just doing a quick little force brake, because I have a feeling I know what it is. And what I think it is, now don't quote me, hear me out. What I think it is, the gasket's being compressed, the tab of it anyways, into this area over here. And I think there's surface area of this touching this, because there is a deeper inset over here. And that's my theory right now, is this part here is having unnecessary, very minor up and down vibrations with this. And the opposite was true when we did it the last time. So it had it on the bottom. We did flip the gaskets already. We've done it up and down already. And I feel like this is so far a little bit better because this is also sunken in. I'm going to put this here. I'm also going to put one here. But I'm going to put them on all of these things on the top just to see if this can help break some of that weird contact I'm feeling there is. I don't know. Does that sound better to you guys? All right. So let's take a look here really quick. I mean, the alphas sound way better now, in my opinion, totally. Let me put the cherry spacebar back in here because I think the obscura is a little bit too deep. It's either the force break here in the center and on the sides I did. If it is the force break on the plate, what's probably happening, it's compressing on this. It's also pushing up a bit on this, like everywhere, you know, and then also impacting the center, if it is those. Because it might just be compressing and then impacting and also being pushed up by the bottom. It could also be the force breaks here, which is not the end of the world. I think that's a very easy fix. And honestly, it might be in Mechanical Keyboard's best interest to just literally include a little sticker pack with some instructions on to do that if people feel the need. I think we're in business now. So there's still a little bit of metalliciness, which might be your cup of tea. I don't know, this sounds really good now, actually. I really like this. Yeah, this turned out really good with this. It does look like this needs to be force broken. Just, again, I don't know if it's the plate that does. Maybe I should do some more A/B testing with that. I don't personally think force breaking is a invasive mod to do. There's little stickers. A lot of keyboards benefit from it. Hell, like a popular board like the Encore benefits from it, right? The Dune 65 needed to be force broken. Overall, though, it sounds nice. For Mechanical Keyboard's first keyboard, I'd say this is a win. There's some small little changes I'd make. A super awesome premium product, but in fact, I would even say experiment with making these. I know we kind of talked about it earlier, but maybe even experiment with making these a bit thinner cut so they kind of come right to the edge and there's only about a centimeter of space. And this is going to be in stock. It's already in stock, actually. I think it came out. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about top mount on this. Maybe it would sound 1,000 times better with the PC plate. Everything sounds good. Spacebar is falling flat again. It might be just the large amount of contact between the plate and the top there at this point. I don't think top mount's my favorite for this. Aren't it for this board? Really? I like the Nixies for this board, Manic. I really liked the Gasket version. Yeah, I thought the Gasket was great. I don't know if top mount's my favorite for this. Let me try some different switches for the spacebar. Maybe this different switch will help it in this case. We'll try a vintage switch. It still falls very, very flat. Let's try the Obscura again. I have a random switch here too. We can try, I think this is an HMX switch or something. No, they still feel a bit too sharp for my liking. I took it. Top mount PC I feel tends to work better for me. Always for me as well. That's why I had a feeling like when I was doing this, I was building this more for Gasket. I had a feeling I wouldn't particularly love aluminum top. I liked the Gaskets way more on this. I think the Alphas sound good on top. I don't love the spacebar for some reason. And again, it might be the large amount of contact it has or something. I'm not too sure. It just feels very flat. It could be the fact that there's no weight underneath this as well. It's not a through weight. It's just a bottom weight where it screws in from the bottom or from the top in. The Gasket on this with the force break sounded lovely. I actually really liked it. I think it sounded really good. In fact, after this stream, I'm going to put it back into its Gasket config. But the top mount's lacking for me. If you go with the PC plate, I probably think this will end up being better. You'll probably get an overall better sound signature from the PC plate. What's the purpose of the stickers? It's going to create some sort of buffer between the metal from the top frame as well as the plate. I'm just trying to see if some of this, maybe these larger amount of contact is causing some of this to feel a little bit wonky, which is what I'm checking out right now. This is more in line of what I expected. Yeah, I think it's just the amount of metal touching the top frame here. I think maybe that's what we can chalk it up to when it comes to the way the plate is. They're not just like little points. I agree, the spacebar it's still a little bit softer, also a bit glassy. So I'm not gonna, say this is my favorite of the two, but I think this sounds a lot better. It does seem like there just needs to be some sort of isolation happening more towards the plate for this board. Which isn't very hard to do when you're just using stuff like these little stab pads or any sort of tape even. I would say probably enjoy this board more with the gaskets though. Like if you end up buying this thing, you're going to enjoy it more. I think it has a good overall look. It's comfortable to type on. Not in top mount's going to be a little bit firmer obviously, but this definitely had a bit more of a comfort to type on when I had it on. I like the sound way better out of the gaskets. I thought it sounded really good with the gaskets after we force broke it. But I think the overall with this board is I like the way it looks. The quality of the board is very, very nice. Like they used a really good quality anodizer here. I think it looked good. I don't know where they got this manufactured, but very, very nice. Price point $210 for technically 2 PCBs. Can't go wrong with that. A second PCB, although they're not the same PCBs, is good. My only small gripe is I don't love hidden screw design on this. Makes it kind of more difficult to kind of open up your keyboard, but I don't love the top mount though. I'm going to be honest. I think the top feels like a bit of a miss. It's okay though. I feel like it might satisfy the itch for some people who want top mount here. But I've definitely heard better top mount keyboards. Although the alphas are surprisingly really good on this top mount. It's more just the modifiers. Actually, it's more just the spacebar really. I think mechanical keyboards did really well for their first keyboard. It's priced well. You know, I do think they should include some sort of sticker pack to allow people to kind of further mod this a bit more. I don't know how much a sticker pack would cost, like something like this little sheet of stab pads. I don't think this costs a whole crap ton. But I think mechanical keyboards did excellent for their first board. Bye everybody, talk to you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your nights. See ya.